Okay, this video is going to be about how to remove larger objects or issues in an image. So here I have an image taken, candid image on the Las Vegas Strip. This guy's a fun street performer, if you ever get there. But obviously we don't want this lady in the picture. Also, this car is a little bit annoying. And so we're going to fix it so that we got a nice photo for this lady to take home and have a souvenir of her time at Vegas. So the nice thing is when you're looking at larger objects, you have multiple tools, right? So you have your spot healing, you have your patch tool, you also have the clone tool at your disposal. So my method is usually to start from the one I know best, or the one that usually does the best and quickest, which is spot healing. So we're just going to sort of take a stab here and just kind of drag this out and see if, well, just see what it does. Yeah. So, it's trying to read edges, and so it's reading the edge of her hair, and it's obviously not working. Now, what we could do is just continue to work it. Work it, work it, work it, work it. Right? And we get an acceptable thing for the most part. But that's not acceptable for us. So instead, what we're going to do is use this area to help sort of create and shape this area. So the first thing I do want to do is kind of get rid of these black spots where there's leaves there. And then what I think we'll do is use the clone tool. But again, we're going to do it non-destructively, making sure I have current and below, or all layers, but current below is good enough for me. Let's make it a bigger brush. Ooh, come on, bigger brush. There we go. And I think what I want to do is pick up right about here, because I want this line, and I'm going to place this line right about here. And so I can quickly just kind of do that. I am going to go ahead and finish off this edge, even though no, I'm not going to use that. And now I'm going to use right here, maybe right here. So not quite the top. I'm not going to go to the top part because I don't actually want that, but I want it right up to the top. And so I can kind of place this right here. Nope, that's not what I want either. All right, instead what I'm going to do is take here, kind of come down here and continue it on. Now if I go too far over, do you see this little plus sign next to her hair? That's where you're actually painting from. And so you can see it's starting to pick up her hair. And we don't want that. But that's why we use multiple layers here to mask everything. Alright, so we need to sort of get something like this, but without affecting her skin here. And so that's where we use our selection tool. So quick selection tool. Where'd it go? There it went. Larger brush. And oops. Command E. Now again, got to go back to the background so that we pick up the right thing. Alright, so it's having a little trouble reading. So we'll just help correct it here. There we go. And that's all I really need. I'm going to hit Command-Shift-I so it selects everything but that area. And so now, going back to our clone brush, we can kind of finish out this little area. I kind of like that stuff, but we'll go with this. Alright, so I'll pick up right there. Actually, I'm going to pick up on the line, because we do want that line right there. Alright, and I'm going to brush that out. And then all I can do here, or what I can do here, is kind of select, oh, something's happening. Pick up right there. I see what I've done. I have made that fatal mistake. I went one too far back. Woo! There we go. No problem, no problem. Just resetting. Here we go. And there we go. We can do that. And then I'm just going to go to this top layer, since I just painted in there, and this will sample from both layers, and I can continue this. Okay. Now what I need to do is make this look like it belongs, which with that edge doesn't quite fit. So I might step back twice, because I kind of like that brown stuff there. What I need to do then is mask some of that brown stuff, but I'm going to bring the flow down quite a bit, and what that will do is it'll allow me to very gently bring in. Now see, these two are the same, so we want to make sure we have no patterns there. Okay, and since it's on a downward angle here, we'll kind of do that. I like a little bit of that brown over there. Maybe put it right here, but get a slightly different pattern going. Okay, so Command D. Now let's zoom in here and take a look at what we've done. So notice, didn't go anywhere near her hair because that would be a dead giveaway. But we did go near the skin, and well, there's a little bit right there, and a little bit of a line right there. So what we can do is zoom that down quite a bit, and I'm just going to use my favorite tool. Oops. All right, so this is the thing with spot healing, is that you need to hit that sample all layers in order for it to act much like the stamp tool. Okay, there we go. Except it's making me some weird results here. It really doesn't like that. All right, let's step that back. And like I do, I usually go to the patch tool next to see if the patch tool will do the justice. And it won't. So let's do this. Let's hit that Alt Command Shift E, which makes a single layer out of the visible layers. All right, and now if I do this, I believe it should work just fine. Yeah. All right, and so we do have a little bit, because the edge wasn't the smoothest, right? You can see that. So we're just going to smooth that over artificially, and we'll do that with the clone. All right, and this one we're going to want a little bit harder of an edge. I'm just going to pull from right there, and all I'm really doing is just kind of trying to smooth over, and then just blotch it a little bit to make it look like, you know, it's some trees. Just smooth over right there. Whoops, I went too far in. Most people are not going to notice this, but I did. Okay, so we got rid of there, and that looks, I mean, I don't know about you, but that looks pretty darn good to me. There is a little bit, right, these three look a little too alike, so let's just do a real quick spot heal on it, and let's see what it does. Yeah, it just kind of varies that pattern a little bit. Okay. Cool. All right. Now let's take care of this car, which might be a little bit more tricky. Except I don't think it will be, because we've got our green line here, and then we've got this right here. And so if I just grab my clone tool, right, remembering it's on current and below, and remember we created a new layer, so we only actually need the first one. So let's just do current layer. All right, I'm gonna hit Alt. I'm gonna pick up right in the middle here. Oh, that's why, because it's not very big. There we go. I need to show me that edge. So then I just drag the edge down here. I'm going to paint. Okay, so this one didn't happen all that nicely. But let's see if we can improve. Okay. Get that edge a little bit further down here. Zoom that over. Not sure what all this is, but I think it's going to be hard to tell that there was a car there after we're done. But we'll just grab a little bit of this and fold that in. Let me grab this guy a little. Nope, that wasn't. Don't need that there. Just a little bit. And let's bring that edge hardness back down. When you're dealing with organic plant life, your edge hardness probably shouldn't be as high. When you're dealing with sharper edges like skin, then you can bring your edge hardness back up. Okay, and so we just need to get rid of that part of the car. And I think just taking from here, dropping right down there, a little bit more dark there. So it's a little fuzzy right there. If we really wanted to kind of go the full distance here, we could now see the only problem is the angle of this doesn't match that, and we could probably take from here and do a little bit, you know, to just to help it a little, not look so jagged. But ultimately, we're going to have to sort of live with that. Now, when we look at that, I'm not noticing that there was something there before. I got a little bit of red over here that I'll want to just clean up with some of these quick edits. Because, you know, we can clearly see this is a palm tree. Right, and here we got some of these little artifacts. Right, but otherwise it's just great. We have this blue over here, and it's kind of distracting. We have a little bit of red over here. This is probably, because it's so out of focus, this is probably where I would just kind of go and see what Photoshop does. And Photoshop does pretty good for me. It pretty much just covers it over with some leaves, and that's just fine. This blue, however, we'll see what it does. I don't think it's going to do anything. Yeah, that looks pretty bad. So instead, what I'm going to do is just remove the color so that we can't necessarily see it. And that was the wrong one. I don't want color balance. What I'm going to do is at the top of the stack, I'm going to add a hue saturation. I'm going to go into the blues, right? And if I raise the saturation, you can tell that's the blues. I'm going to pull that saturation down a little bit. And I'm also going to change it so that it's green, right? And I also want to go into the cyans because that edge there is also cyan. That's why it looks that way, right? But there we go. So now it just looks like maybe it was more trees back there. Now if you have blue in the rest of the image, let's see. Yeah, so see right here on the edge of his shoulder, sunlight's blue. So sunlight will reflect blue. There's a little blue in her hair. So if I turn the mask on and off, see how much blue that takes out, even out of her dress. However, I actually think that's a good thing. And so I'm going to keep it like that. Right? The blue's nice, but I think that is a better image. And then finally, we'll just do a little bit of a cropping. And let's say she's going to print this out, so we'll go 8 by 10. We'll line up a little bit. Right? They're looking this direction, and so we always want to have that negative space in the direction they're looking. That just usually produces a more pleasing image. It's a little bit high up, so let's reshift that, and let's see, turn the ruler off. Oops, I don't need to crop it anymore. And there we go. All right, we've been able to fix the take the image or the people out and the car out and fix some color distractions, and now we have a nice image. Now you're going to probably think, why did you crop last? Because, you know, you could have saved yourself all that time. Yeah, I could have, but this is a tutorial, so I wanted to show you how. However, you know, if I do keep it the original, then I've got, you know, more space to play with and everything. And, you know, maybe they want this. Maybe they have a really thick frame, so when they put it in there, like, you know, maybe half an inch is going to be lost, and so keeping it the original ratio is good. But there we go. That's how to use all three of the tools in combination to remove larger objects.